Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, what more do you say? Coming up. Yeah. Come on up now. Come on, stop me. Come on. You coming up.
It's me.
Oh,
Okay,
like,
I had me too. I was like, oh, hi.
Hello, everyone. Come on. Join us. We are live here on the House of Peach. We are here for our show for this Tuesday. Oh my goodness. Come in, invite, share, let people know that we are on. We have a great show for you guys tonight. You have been so supportive of us from January up until now. We are now in the month of October. This year is almost over, but we're not done. We are just getting started. We're going to have some great things for you in 2024. Morgan and I are going to spice it up a little bit. We're going to make this great. And to know that we have some creative ability to do this and freedom.
Yes.
So, Morgan, how are you today? How's your day been?
I am great.
With hesitation, you said that.
I did, yes, exactly. Because it's one of those things that, we want to speak positivity even in the spaces where we seemed a little either frazzled or,
Right.
a lot is going on. So, yes,
Right.
I am great. I am being intentional. So.
There you go. Somebody was paying attention.
Exactly. It was such a great 31 days. I can't wait to go back and do the replay. I feel like
I have something new coming
on replay.
Yeah. There. It was not only, I'm sure, a blessing for those that came in the group and did that, but it was for me, just to be able to go over, just read what I had written and go over it and encourage people and see the comments of how it was. I was like, wow. So for those of you that don't know, wondering what are they talking about? So I wrote a book. And we just finished a 31-day devotion.
Oh no, she froze. But it's a 31-day devotion that goes along with the book. And April is up at 9 every single morning going through it and encouraging and explaining what those chapters mean personally to her, but then also encouraging others. And so, yeah, it's a daily thing. And we've been walking through it for the last 31 days. We actually just finished this weekend. So it was not only just a blessing, and you didn't even have to have the book. I think being in the group is going to make you want to get the book if you haven't already. But it is based upon that devotional, and it gives time, space for you to be able to also reflect on what it is. So there you go. I just finished your sentence for you.
Yeah, and thank goodness, I have my phone here so I can look, and I'm like, oh, I'm frozen, and then I'm gone, disappeared.
I know. Oh no. Well, we're glad you're back.
Yeah, so you finished up about the devotion. But what I was getting ready to say is now I have something else I'm getting ready to do, and I'm going to put it in the group. I don't know if I'm going to put it in tonight or tomorrow, but were you on the master class that I did last Wednesday?
Yes, I was so upset that I was like, ugh. I felt like it was just getting good, and then it was like, time's up.
And you know what? The funny thing is, I did not see the timer, but everybody else did. And so if I had seen the timer, I would have been able to kind of cut it. But I was midstream talking, and then it was a bloop, gone.
I know.
Okay, what
My
happened?
heart started palpitating. I was like, oh no. Fine, April. And I'm like, do I text her? I was like, no, probably like 12 other people are texting her right now too, trying to figure
Yeah,
out
and
what's
they
going
were.
on.
They really were. Like, what happened? It went out. And you know, with Zoom, if you go out, you can come right back in with that same one. Well, not with Google
Yes.
Meet. If it's done, it is done. So I said, okay, no more Google Meet. I will use Zoom the next time. But
Yeah.
I'm going to do a training, or not a training. It's another master class, but it's going to be an extension of what I was teaching, and it's going to be sectioned off. So I'm looking forward to doing that and putting that announcement in the group, because I didn't want it to just stop after the 31 days were done. Like, no, we got more to do. So I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
That is so super exciting.
Jason said, "Good evening, ladies," and then he said, I know I was mad when it ended. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
me too. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, Jason was just getting into it as well. So
He was like commenting and talking a lot. I was shocked, like, what? So yeah, but we'll do this master class. I'm excited about that, because just to continue to push people to their destiny, which is part of what we do here with House of Peach. We encourage people, we enlighten them, we inspire them, we give them something to go on to move to the next level. So me doing the group and doing the master class, all of that is going to be, it's just all inclusive of that. So I'm excited. But today we have a great guest coming on, and I'm excited about the topic, because success is never ending. It is never ending, because you can be successful in so many areas, not just one. Some people just kind of pigeonhole themselves into one area. Like I tell my students, when they get ready to go work in surgery and they ask me about getting jobs, I tell them that some places may have teams. So you could be on the orthopedic team, the neurosurgery team. I said, don't pigeonhole yourself into one, when you can be successful in all of them, when you can work in all of the different specialties. And so this here, success is never ending, meaning you can just do so much in so many different areas and just do well, just thrive and motivate and help, and just do those things that you want to for yourself and help others at the same time. So with that being said, Jason said, great topic. Why is that not popping up over here? I wonder.
I don't know. I feel like that's been my never ending question for the
But
last
you know
few
what?
weeks.
Last week he was able to put it out. Oh, you know why? Because we did it from House of Peach page. So we shared House of Peach, and that's how it's directly connected there. This is just a little sidebar. Okay.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Okay. Well,
Right.
yes. So I'm excited about our guest today as well. It was one of those flukes as to how we met, and I thank Facebook for it. I was in one of these groups, and my uh, many fans had tagged me to say that someone was interested in a catering for a birthday party. So, I answered the message, started talking, and then ended up securing to do a beignet station actually for this Princess in the Frog Sweet 16 themed party.
Oh wow.
And so I had no idea what to expect, but when I walked through the door, my jaw dropped.
Mm.
And when I say I literally felt like I stepped into the fairy tale, it was in the bayou. It was just absolutely amazing. And to see this space afterwards as just, this very plain open room and what she transferred it into, I was like, oh my goodness. And
Mm.
at first, I honestly thought that I was talking to, I thought I was talking to like the mother of the birthday girl, but she ended up being the party planner.
Oh wow.
So after that, I was like, well, girl, we need to stay in touch, especially when I, have got clients who are wanting this caliber setup.
Mhm.
Because when I say she's larger than life, like up to the storybook that was bigger than me and everything. It was just,
wow.
yes, it was phenomenal. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Nadeska Marie Guidi. Yay! I said it right. To House of Peach. Welcome, 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 Nadeska.
Thank you guys for having me.
Wow. So we are excited about having you on today. And thank you for agreeing to be on. We appreciate that. So we always like to start off with having our guests give a little bit about themselves, and whatever you decide to share, we're game with that. So why don't you give us a little background? Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. So I am Nadaska Gwiti, the owner of TNT Elegant Creations, which is a full service event planning business. If you want a small event or a big event, we do it all. I do this as part-time. So I limit myself to how many customers I take in within the month or even the year, so that I make sure that every customer that we have, we give them that undivided, very, niche attention, and making sure that everything, like my goal is when I talk to a customer, I want to pull their vision from in their head and then put it out. So that's what Morgan saw. The 16. Uh, I spoke to the birthday girl who was a very very close friend, family friend. I've known her since she was like 9 or 10 years old. And I said, "What do you want for your party?" She said, "I want Princess and the Frog, but I don't want it to be a baby Princess and the Frog. I want it to be, a teenage Princess and the Frog." And then she called me back and she says, "I know exactly what I want. I want to feel like I am in the bayou. You know that last scene when they get married and they kiss? That's what I want."
Oh, wow. Very specific.
And that's what
Very
she
specific.
did, y'all.
So we went off, and I am always pleasantly surprised when me and my team pull it together, because they always say, "Listen, you just tell me what to do because you have the vision." And even though I put it out on paper for them, they're like, "Nope, I can't see it. Nope." And then it's, "Oh, okay, now that whole month of conversation, now it all makes sense."
Because they're like, "We can't see it, but we
Yeah.
trust you." So yeah.
Yep, they can't see it. And most of my customers that I like is that, they give me freedom, design freedom. It's,
Mm,
whatever it is that you want. It's never, if I have a customer that wants me to duplicate somebody else's work, that's not me. That's not a customer for me, because,
mm,
everybody's creativity is theirs. And, if you say, "I like this," and it's an inspiring piece, is different than saying, "Can you replicate this for me?" So
mhm,
I'm very much of the mindset that not every client that walks through your doors is right for you. You have to make
mm,
sure that you select the right ones.
mhm. That's some good entrepreneurial advice right there. Not every client, every customer is right for you. So how did you get into doing this portion?
So I come from a very creative family. So my
Mm,
mom, we call her the jack of all trades. From the time we were young, she does everything, anything that is creative. So on a weekend, so I grew up in New York, and on the weekends we used to go to this very big craft store that was called Treasure Island. And
Yes.
mm,
wanted to go to Treasure Island, or if we wanted to get ice cream that was like right, and we had to pick a craft and we had to finish it. So every time
mm,
we can get whatever we wanted, but we just had to finish it. So she kind of from young, she got the creative juice rolling in us. And I've just always liked doing parties. So I've always kind of like helped my friends put things together. And then I did my daughter's quinceañera. So we are of Caribbean and Spanish descent. So
Okay.
my oldest daughter's quinceañera, um, I did her party and everybody's like, oh my God, this is like a mini wedding. It's so pretty, blah, blah, blah. And then when I did my sister's baby shower, my cousin, every time I did an event, she was like, you need to stop playing. You need to just start a business. I don't understand. She was like, why is it the talented ones are the ones that don't want to do anything? So she pushed and she pushed and she pushed. And I'm like, you know what? She's right. So, and TNT was born.
And how long has it been? Have you been in business?
I have been in business now for about 2 years officially.
Really? All right. I wish that we could have gotten some pictures of your work where we could have shown that because I'm so intrigued. So what give me so who's on your team?
So on my team, I have my really good friend who she is our organizer. She is the one that, like, I'm the perfectionist. I want to make sure that my vision in my head is exactly what it is that we're delivering. She is the one that keeps me on track. She's like, nope, nope, nope. It looks fine. Trust me. Let's go. You know, we have this much. My alarm is going off. You got 15 more minutes. You got to wrap it up. She keeps me on track because if not, then I am going to mess with everything, and because it's never quite perfect for me. Um,
Mhm.
so, and then I also have my sister that is on my team. She's another one. She's like, I'm the worker bee. You tell me what to do, and I'm going to get it done. And then we
Mhm.
have 3 other associates that work with us. So it's a team of 6 of us that we
Okay.
go in, and depending on the scale of the event, if we need more time, um, or if we need more people because we only have a particular amount of time, then I'll just have ad hoc staff that comes in and help us out.
Mm.
But usually it's the 6 of us that's doing events.
Oh wow. So you do have quite enough help and assistance so it doesn't all rely on just you to do, which is really good. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Morgan, you just jump in there because you know I'm just the questions start to roll and I just start spitting stuff out. So I'm trying to be better. And Morgan's like, oh, I'm good. You go ahead. I'll just sit right here. I'm good. No.
Exactly. So, well, obviously, I know that you do collaborations, but do event space. Do you have your own event space,
I
or
do not. So
okay?
that's the thing that, my husband and I have talked about. Again, I'm from New York. So a lot of the spaces in New York, they're very much, you can have like a really high-end, elegant location, or you can have one that is, medium scale or whatever the case is. I just feel as though, especially in Southern Delaware, if you want like a really nice event space, you have to go north or you have to go to Philadelphia. And
Mm.
that is just something that, we are lacking down here. So he did say, hey, I think this is the next thing that you should think about. There's a bunch of little boutique areas down here, but if you want to do like a large scale event, you want like the very elegant, um, just space itself, that's not something that's available down in this area. So it's definitely something to think about in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. How far north are you willing to look? Because I completely agree with you. Southern Delaware needs some things because it does feel like everything is in Wilmington.
Mhm. So if I can find something Southern Delaware so I can give the people down in this area that opportunity, that we can then, renovate and fix up and get it to the level that we want it to be on, that's great. But if not, we've decided that we'll look as far as Bear. I don't think we're going to go any further than that because then when you get into Wilmington, you do have more options with the country clubs and stuff. But even the ones that are out there is not like what I have pictured in my head. Like I have that vision of what I want to turn it into, and oh, let me tell you, it would be glamorous.
Ooh,
Well, I can't wait. So I was like, I'll definitely, put you in touch with some folk who might be able to, if nothing else, keep an eye out. Because if something comes across, or if it, the property might be it, but like you said, it might need a little fixing up. Then hey, why not? Because yeah, it's necessary. There aren't a lot of event spaces that are owned by us. I know we are, attempting to get into that. So I'm excited that is like the next
One of
bit.
the
Um,
one of the things that is lacking um, within the event space business, everyone wants you, when you go to certain venues or certain hotels, they are very specific to what they want to offer you. And from a cultural perspective, we always have an issue because, like, I need a space where I can bring my own caterer. I need people that's going to cook the food that my family and my guests are going to eat. No shade on what you're cooking or what
right.
you're providing. But if I give my family some roast beef, they're not having it. They want food, you know? So I definitely think that the space, if you have a space that offer people different options, if you
Mm,
want us to provide you with the food, we can do that. If you want to bring your own caterers in, you can do that. Just the flexibility, I think that that would open up so much doors and give people more business. But I don't know what the fare is for letting outside caterers come in, but
mhm.
I'm all about it.
Yeah. I'm dealing with that right now with being
literally,
limited with what I can bring or do. It's like, no, I don't want that. Now I gotta, find something. Well, we gotta find something else. So, or possibly see what we can. But it is very limited with that. So you said that you limit how many customers you take per month so you can give them that attention. What is that kind of average? Do you determine how many based on what the event is and how detailed it is, or you just have a flat number that you would do per month?
So so normally what I try to do is I keep it to about 6 event a year.
Mm,
And only because so my full-time job, I work in the technology industry. I am a senior manager for one of the larger banking companies that are out there. So my job is very demanding. There are times where, it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm on a call because something is wrong with code system, whatever. So I need to make sure that I'm not boggled down and I want to give all of my clients the attention that their events deserve. So if it's a small event, like a few weeks ago, someone reached out and she's like, listen, I just want a Barbie setup. I just want a really simple Barbie setup, because I told my staff, I'm like, I'm really not taking any more events for the year. I have a lot of things going on for the family. And she reached out, we blocked the calendar off, and she reached out and she says, you know, can we do something? And she was a returning customer. So sometimes for my returning customers, I will go ahead and, um, and make exceptions. But something small, I'll make the exception. But if we're talking weddings or quinceañeras, sweet 16s, things like that, that takes, you know, a month or two to get all of the vendors lined up, get all the planning done, get all the ordering that needs to be done. I want to make sure that I have the time to do that and give that the attention because you're hiring me. And I appreciate when my clients hire me and put their trust in me. And I want to not just deliver, but over deliver on their expectation. I love it when a client walk in because from the first meeting, I tell them my goal is for you to do nothing. I want you to just walk in and say, yes, everything I asked for is here. And when they get that, oh my God, this is beautiful, that just warms my heart.
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So I want you to talk about that a little bit, about as an entrepreneur and you have people that hire you and they want your services, and giving them the best of you and the best of what your ability. You know, some people they go into business and then they don't want to do the extra work that will have returning customers, that will cause people to come back to them. So talk about that a little bit and what it takes for you really to put what that means of putting yourself into what you're doing, so you do have customers to not only come back but to refer you out.
Yeah. So for me, like when I meet with when someone reach out and they're interested in an event, the first thing we do is we have a consultation where it's just us talking. It's me giving my time. Some people charge for like that initial consultation, or they say, you need to send me a deposit before I would even sit with you and do anything with you. For me, I want to make sure that the people who hire me want to work with me. So I'm not going to trap you to say, okay, you got to give me, $100 deposit or a $200 deposit just for me to even meet with you. It's a collaboration, and that's how I look at it. I think that if you treat each of your customer as that person is who you're collaborating with, they are your partner for this event. You want to make sure that you are giving them what they want. And if they don't know what they want, you can pull the triggers to have them to think through exactly what it is that they're looking for. So at the end of the day, they're not walking away saying, oh, well, I really just settled on this. I don't like what it is that she did. It's, oh my God, she took the time to get to know me, to understand what I want, what my family want, or whomever the birthday or the person who's having the event, what they want. Because at the end of the day, it's their memories. I'm just
Right.
there to create that memory for them and then walk away until it's time to break down the setup. Or, if you're having a wedding and you have planned everything to the T, on the day of, we come in and we take over and make sure everything works smoothly so you don't have to worry about anything. You can enjoy your day because you've done all of the planning. You've made sure it is exactly what you want. And then we just make sure the day goes smoothly for you.
That's
Wow.
wonderful. How do
Yeah.
you handle the the well, I know you said that not every client is for you, but how do you handle, I guess, when it comes to pricing and the fact that everyone, life is on a budget right now, life is lifing, but how do you remain making a profit, having good business practices
Mhm.
while also being able to, do what you do and charge your weight and your worth without also being that person where, someone feels like you're breaking the bank?
Yep. So my philosophy is you get the event that it's best for each client to get the event that they can afford. You can still have a nice event, but not break the bank. So my first question to anyone is, what is your budget? And you always have those clients that says, oh, I really don't have a budget. No, you have a budget. There is a number that you absolutely do not want to go over. And if you tell yourself that you do not budget, then you're lying to yourself because everyone has a budget. Everyone has a budget. So when they tell me that, I said, okay, so here's what I want you to do. Think of a number that you want to stay at and the number that you're willing to go above, if anything.
Mm.
What I try to do is, as we talk through, I said, if money was not an option, what exactly is it that you want? Tell me what you see this event as. So then I get all of the ideas. And then what I do is I take all of the ideas and I said, okay, here is what we can do for the budget that you have. If and then I'll also ask them, what are some of your must-have? Like give me 2 or 3 of your must-haves. And I try to fit their must-haves into the budget. Now, if someone comes out, because you always have that one client that, you know, they see the celebrity party, you know, they see Cardi B giving their daughter, throwing a birthday party for their daughter, or one of the Jenner sisters doing something. It's, oh, well, I want this. And my budget is $400. No, sweetheart, that's not happening.
Yeah.
It's just being upfront and say we have to be realistic, right? Because you want an event, and at the end of the day, I want to provide that event for you, but I'm not going to do it where I'm in the negative, because then now I'm paying for you.
Mhm.
Give you a nice party. So I think for me, I just stay very honest. And when we come back, so we have that initial discussion with what is it that you want? What is your budget? We come back and then we price everything out. And I said, this is what I can provide. This is the setup that we can do to stay within your budget. If you're willing to stretch your budget a little bit more, we can add this, this, and this is where you would end up. And then from there, we have the conversation. We add. I've had people where say, okay, well, can we take this out of this and this out of this and add it together? And where would I be then? And you know, that's why I'm like, I don't do packages, because everything is custom. I want it to be what you want. So, and so far it's worked. You know, I've had some people who came back and said, you know what, I've decided to go with another event planner. And I'm like, okay, no problem. And I don't think anything of it. I'm not hurt, because again, not every client is for you. And I want to work with people who want to work with me. And if I'm not that planner for you, or I'm not that even stylist for you, it's okay. And that time that we spent together, I don't look at it as wasted time, because it's helped with my creativity. It's helped with pulling out. So I get something from it. And, you know, the only thing that I don't do, I've learned my lesson. The only thing I don't do anymore is I don't provide mock-ups until I have a contract. Because I've had people where I've created mock-ups and they've taken my mock-up and given it to someone else and say, oh, can you do this for me? So I've learned my lesson there. But otherwise than that, just having creative conversations and talk, I don't mind.
I like that, because that shows you're personable. And even though you're doing this to make money, you're not going to nickel and dime people, and you're not just money hungry. And that's how you end up getting more business, because people see that in you, that she's just not after my money. Yes, she's going to make money, but she's not, every little thing has a cost to it. And
Exactly.
that's good. And I like your flex. You talked about not doing packages, so you have that flexibility, because people, when you have this conversation with your potential customers, then like you said, they want to move things around, and if you have one set package, then that flexibility is not there. So
Exactly.
that gives you, I want people to understand, those entrepreneurs, that you need to have that level of being personable and friendly and understanding, because everything is not cookie cutter. It's
Exactly.
not just the same way every time. And you deal with people, like you asked about the budget, and they, you know, everybody has a number, which they do. And that makes me think I need to figure out what my budget is, because I don't know. So I need to think about my own budget for my own wedding that's coming up. So I got to make sure about that. But to know, okay, this is what we can do within that. So I commend you for taking that time with them, and you learn, like you said, you don't lose out of the meetup with them. There is something that you gain, because then it just gets your creativity more in depth, and then you can use that for something else.
Exactly.
Yeah. How do you determine, you said at the beginning that not every customer is for you.
Uh-huh.
How do you determine who's for you and who's
And
not?
who's not. So
Yeah.
I don't do the banner and back and forth with
Mm,
pricing. You know, you have people that want to, oh, well, that's expensive. I can go over here and, you know, I can get that cheaper over here. And then they expect you to say, well, okay, if you're going to get it cheaper over there, I'll lower my price just to keep you as a customer. If you can get it cheaper over there, okay, not a problem. I completely understand. Go
mhm,
ahead and go over there. Now, again, I have that freedom because my 9 to 5 pays me very well. So it's not like, you know, if I don't get the client, then I can't pay my expenses. I can't pay my business expense. I can't pay, you know, my personal expense. This truly and truly is a love for me. It is my hobby. I do it for the passion. So I think that is a little bit different for me, where I'm willing to, if someone says no, you know, I think I'm going to go somewhere else. I understand that. But then I'm also very, when it comes to my vision, I'm also very lenient with adding extra stuff and not charging. So my organizer, the one that keeps me on track with time, she also keeps me on track with all the extra stuff that I add. Because she'll look at the right and she says, this isn't in their budget. This wasn't in the original design. What are you doing? I said, oh no, but this would work perfect for the event. She's like, did you charge him? No, 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 it's okay. It's my gift. So she keeps telling me, you guys stop giving gifts. Stop giving. But again, it goes back to that creativity. And when you want to see something a certain way, you say, no, I'm not going to give it to them because they can't afford it. If I feel like throwing it in, I will throw it in. But I want to be the one to make that determination. I don't want you to feel as though that you're going to pressure me to tell me I have to do something and you're not going to pay for it.
Right, right. So I'm looking over here on my Facebook page, and Corey's commented and said, "The price is the price."
Yeah.
That is right. That
Yeah.
is the price. And like you said, this is your business, so you have the flexibility of adding a little bit extra in and not having it, you know, be something that's going to put you out.
Exactly.
That's your choice instead of being strong armed into doing that.
Yes.
Catherine says you can always tell when people are about the money versus customer service oriented. I believe if we not allow the money to not chase the money, but allow the money to come to us with our passion. And what did she say? Hold on.
And business, we will be fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
Okay. You
something
see
that
that?
I share with others who are up and coming and creating businesses in my network. This is good. You can always tell when people are about the money versus customer service oriented. I believe yeah, it's like it just repeated itself.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right. So yeah, so you can tell when people, and then sometimes those that want more money for things,
Yep.
they don't give good quality work. So
Yeah.
then you're paying all this money for something that's not even going to take your breath away. Like if I have for my wedding, when I walk in, I want everything to be like, I want to walk in like that, like, oh my God, that's what I want. And if I gotta pay for that, then so be it. But that's what I want. And I don't want you to, not you specifically, but whoever, to say, oh, we're gonna do this and do this and do this, and you're gonna, the bill is like high, and then I walk in like, I paid for this, like my day's ruined. Like I don't want this. I don't want it. I'm telling you, some heads are gonna roll. Morgan, you hear me? Some heads are gonna roll. So no, but it's going to be
I
great.
don't know if I'm ready to see that side of you, girl.
You do not want to see
I hope
that
we don't have to. I hope we don't have to.
We won't. Corey is a phenomenal wedding coordinator, so she's gonna make sure everything is on point. So I'm not worried about none of that. I just wish you were a little bit closer so you could do that. Like
yes, because when I say I stand behind that, like the wow factor is there. So tell me, what is, I guess, your favorite event you've done so far?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. That one's a hard one. I would say, so here's every event, there's something special about each of the events. Either it's something new that I wanted to try out now, and I surprised myself, like, oh my God, that really turned out really nice. But I think so far, I would say The Princess and the Frog is at the top of the list. The Princess and the Frog, my daughter's quinceañera, is also very high up there on the list as well. Those two really like they're battling each other because
Mm.
I mean, I even shocked myself with the fact that when you even picking the venue, right? So this venue, I happened to just run into it. And it's a little train stop here in our town. It holds maybe about 50 people. So it's not very big at all. But when you go in, just the coloring, the setting, it really takes you, you know, down to New Orleans. It makes you feel like you're there. And then bringing in all the fresh floral, and this event was, you sat down at the tables, which was this really long, just wooden exposed table. And you had the flowers that were on top of you coming down. It really just made you feel like if you were in a garden somewhere. So
Oh,
it,
wow.
it,
What was the theme for your daughter's quinceañera?
it was a Tiffany in Paris theme.
Ah,
Yeah. And
so lots of
my
glitz and
mom
glam.
she had to roil me in because I sent her this cake, right? And my daughter is now 19. So
Okay.
we're talking about 4 years, almost 5 years ago now. Because she's turning 20 in November. But I sent her this cake and it was the Eiffel Tower, very intricate design. And we have a very large family. Her quinceañera, we had over 250 people show up.
Wow.
So we needed a big cake. And my mom was like, "Are you kidding me? You really want?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, yes." And she's like, "Okay, can I show you a different design and can we compromise?" She's like, "Because this cake right here is a whole lot of work." And my mom is the one who does the cake design. Like she's none of us actually got into cake design, and my sister does, a little bit of here or there. But no one has the talent like my mom does when it comes to designing cake. So she was on her own, and that's what she was like. She's like, "You guys are helping me. I'm on my own here." But no, the theme rolled in really, really, really nice. With the Tiffany blue, she was very specific that she didn't want the typical black and pink Paris theme that you normally see for quinceañera. So she did a Tiffany blue and silver theme
Ooh.
with the hints of all of the little Paris things that were around. So we had little Eiffel Towers. We had really tall centerpieces. It with the lights and everything. It was really pretty.
Oh, nice. Now,
But
do you go
but
ahead? I'm sorry.
think about like that event and events that I'm doing now, and what, and I'm like, they're so different. Even though that was beautiful for the time that I did it, I don't think that if I was to redo it now, it would be like that. As a matter of fact, I am getting ready to redo it because my other daughter turns 15 next year. So we're having her quinceañera next year. And the oldest one already told me, she was like, "I'm telling you now, Mom, hers better not be better than mine."
No, listen, you can't downplay. You've had years now more of experience with different inventory. That's gonna be hard.
Yes, exactly. I
Mhm.
told her, I'm like, "I can't promise that." So
Well, look, you might just have to say, listen, I can't promise that, but I guess when you turn 21, I'll make up for that with your
yeah.
21st.
Wow. So, do you have a Facebook page for your business separate, or where people can look for pictures,
Yeah.
or?
So my Facebook page is TNT Elegant Creations.
Mm.
Um, and I do post pictures out there, but I am absolutely horrible with taking pictures. I keep forgetting to take pictures, so sometimes my daughter will come behind and she's like, "Ma, you didn't take any pictures. Let me snap some pictures." And she'll snap pictures and put them out there. So I've kind of left like the social media to her because I'm like, I don't have the time for this.
That's not that doesn't flow with your creativity. Like, no, I just need to focus on making sure this is what it needs to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But even like just developing, getting my kids to think in that entrepreneurial mindset. I told her, I'm like, listen, taking pictures is not my forte. I can care less about taking pictures, but why don't you go ahead and, start taking pictures and take some classes on photography? So we've bought a professional camera for her to play around with and for her to just go out and take shots. And, she has photography classes at her school. So she signs up for the photography class, she takes them, and then when we do events, she comes in and she snaps some pictures like, oh, well, I could have done this better, or I could do that better. Or she'll do like the little reels or whatever the case is. I leave it all to her.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
talk about that, instilling that entrepreneurial spirit, or, that avenue in your children. How has that been? Because there could be some people watching who are entrepreneurs, and they want to groom their children, not necessarily for that particular business, but
Mhm.
for their own. How do you do that with yours?
So my oldest daughter, she's in on all of the events.
Mhm.
Um, she is so the very first event that we did, I did it pro bono for a friend, and she says, Mom, I'm going to tell you something that you told me. You said, whenever you're doing a job, even if you get paid $1, you make sure you get paid for your time and your service and your knowledge. And she says, so let's make sure that we never do another pro bono.
Oh,
I
wow.
love it. I love it.
We never do another pro bono event. I'm like, oh, you actually listen to me. So as I sit down and I'm doing things and I'm ordering and I'm pricing things out, like I instill that into her. I'm like, okay, let me show you why I price this the way how I do. Let me
Mm.
how we do this. You see, if we're doing this setup, how much would you pay for this? I asked her, how much would you pay for this setup? If someone wanted you to do this, how much would you charge for this setup? And then whatever price it is that she gives me, I'll ask her, well, how did you come up with that price? Did you think about your time? How much did you pay yourself? Because as entrepreneurs, we always forget to pay ourselves. And that's the one thing I tell her. I'm like, whenever you're doing, no matter what business it is that you're doing, even if you're paying yourself minimum wage, you always pay yourself. You make sure that you take care of your staff first. So you always work whoever's helping you. You make sure that you put that in your budget to cover their payment. You always pay yourself, and you always make sure that you at least make back half of the equipment that you have to buy. And then
Mm.
there, you know that you're not going to be in the negative when you walk out of an event. You may not make a whole lot, but you're making something, even
Mhm.
for your time, your service, your knowledge.
That's good teaching right there, because you're right. We do forget, and I saw Morgan like, yes, we do forget to pay ourselves. And I, with my own business, when I got this contract, and my mom was like, what are you paying yourself? I said, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. I said, I haven't done anything. She's like, oh my God, you gotta pay yourself. Like, oh, well, how do I figure out what to pay myself? Like, I had no clue. Like, what do I do? So she had to, walk me through what I needed to do. Like, I don't know. I just, put it in the bank, and that's where it sits. So
Yeah.
that's important. I think that's good that you break it down.
I don't know if it's because of the fact that I have the financial background, from being in the financial industry, um, but I bring a lot of my financial background into doing the business. So most people are very much concerned with, okay, let me just get the jobs. Let me get the jobs. I'll get the jobs out there. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. And then they forget the most important thing is without you, you can't do the job. So
Mhm.
your top priority is to make sure that you take care of yourself. Now, you don't have to, you're just starting out. You don't have to pay yourself, 30, 40, $50 an hour. But even if you paid yourself $10 an hour or $5 an hour, you figure out how much hours it's going to take you to plan the event. You have to make phone calls. You're using your cell phone service. if you don't have a separate line for your business. So you have to make phone calls. You have to take the time out to run down the different vendors. You have to secure, the equipment that you're going to need, all of the different rentals that you're going to need. That's your time, and your time definitely should be rewarded,
Right.
overall. So usually whenever I walk out of an event, whatever it is that I do for myself, whatever I pay myself, is not considered a profit, because
Mm.
profit is at the end of the day, after you've paid your staff, after you've paid back for all of your equipment, all of your vendors are paid, all of your expenses are covered, and that also include the time these your overhead expense, right? Everybody always forgets the overhead expense. You need to put in that extra 5% or 10% that's going to cover your overhead. You need to think about, a lot of people as entrepreneurs don't think about, their taxes and their license that they have to pay for at the end of the day. That's your overhead expense. You always have to make sure that when you're pricing your event, you're thinking on a large scale and you're including your overhead. And then once you subtract all of those expenses, then that's your profit. So whether your
Mhm.
profit is $100 or $500 or $1,000, at the end of the day, your profit should not include whatever it is that is going back to you as your pay.
Mhm. That's some good information right there. I hope y'all
Absolutely.
listen.
I was like, I surely
Entrepreneurs.
just got a little something, something. Thank you much.
I know, right? I was like, yeah, I never thought about that. Okay.
Exactly.
Hey, we learn something new every week, don't we?
Absolutely. Look,
Some
that's why
kind of
I love this.
insight.
That's why I love
So
this.
your full-time job, you've been successful in that,
Yeah.
definitely. And you're like, this is my bread and butter. This is it right here. The event planning and all that's my little side thing. So how do you keep it balanced? Because you said you work sometimes really late hours. How do you work on the balancing?
So the good thing with my job is, I do have flexibility as well. So there are times where I'm up late working, but there's also times where I can take, an hour, 2 hour, 3 hours out of my working day, that I can, I have some downtime. I can use that. I need to make some phone calls or whatever the case is. I have that flexibility. So that helps out a lot with keeping it balanced. And then it also helps by knowing what your limits are and don't overextend yourself. If you
Mhm.
overextend yourself too much, then now everything is going to suffer. Your regular 9 to 5 is going to suffer because you're not going to be as productive as you should be. And then you're not going to be able to provide the quality that you want to provide. So it's definitely knowing what you can handle and then go from there.
Mhm. I think that's really important. A lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, they just overextend themselves and they're just going and going and going, and then they crash and burn, and something happens to them, their health. And then before you know it, what business they did start is suffering and could possibly even end. So I think that's great that you found that balance and you know when to do and when not to do. And like, okay, I just need to take a moment and
Hmm.
not do anything and decompress because it's a lot going on. And we as women, we have always been just going, 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 doing things. So now we're learning, a lot of us are learning the time to just kind of relax. You don't have to every moment of the day be in something. And that's hard for
Right.
me. That's hard for me. I'm still learning
Right.
because like today it was, I mean, I made some phone calls, but other than that, it was just like, I'm just not, not today. And I guess I needed that because I don't know. And I felt guilty. I felt guilty. Like, why are you need to be doing more? But I just,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that the other thing that people also have an issue with, is the way they measure their success. So in this industry of financial, not fin- of event planning and styling and decor, you have a lot of people that measure their success based off of someone else. They see someone else that's very successful. It's like, oh, well, that person has done these many events for the year. I need to, take more jobs. I need to market myself a little bit more. I need to this, I need to that. But in the way how I look at it is, if I walk away from an event and I feel as though that I delivered, I call that a success. I celebrate the big wins and I celebrate the little wins as well. Because, like I mentioned before, whether your event is large or it's a small job, to me, I give it the same level of attention. If I had last year, I did 5 jobs, and this year I only did 4 jobs. Do I consider that to be a bad year? No. I go back, I look at the magnitude of the jobs. I look at what's going on in my personal life. I look at what's going on in my 9 to 5. And I look at that and I say, okay, with everything else that's going on, I was able to successfully deliver 5 events. Or I was able to successfully deliver 4 events where my customers were happy. I consider myself to be successful. You know, my first year of business, everyone told me, well, it's your first year. You have to start, you're going to be buying a whole bunch of inventory. You're going to be in the negative. Don't worry about it, blah, 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 blah. I came out even. Do I consider that to be a success? Yes, because I didn't lose any money, but I
Right.
gain inventory, I gain experience. So to me, that is success. It's all about how we look at success and what we're measuring our success against. And I'm a firm believer in that you should always be competing with yourself. You take yourself from the past and you look and you say, have I seen that progression? Have I done a little bit better? Do I see the improvement? And if you can say, yes, you've seen it, then you're successful. I'm not going to compete with, Susie over here who has this mega business. And because I don't know how long Susie's been doing it. And before she started her business, I don't know how long Susie was working, just doing little side hustles without having, her full blown business.
I
Yeah.
think that's key.
That is,
That's key, yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think that's key. I mean, right along the lines of, how you started saying that not every customer is for you. It's still being intentional, like across the board, whether it's with your client acquisition or just how you're actually, running the business. April, you were talking about just, being able to sit still or, finding that balance or being okay with not running. I think a lot of entrepreneurs keep in their head like we don't want to leave money on the table.
Yeah.
And there is some money that is okay if it's left on the table because that money technically, as as you were saying, that's like it's not necessarily yours.
Yep.
In the sense of if I went to go grab this pile of money right now, what are the problems that come with that? Because not every customer or not every gig is really for you, and sometimes it can put you in a hole. Sometimes it can cause you some unnecessary stress.
Yep.
Sometimes it might be more than you can chew right now, and of course you can take that as a learning lesson, but sometimes you have to gauge what you're willing to use as a learning lesson and what you are like, nope, you know what, if I fumble this is really actually going to be more detrimental to my business rather than me trying to press through it and get an end result. So I think that being intentional all the way across the board and trying to plan all of that out, whether it has to do with clientele or whether or not you decide to take a job, or even trying to measure your success, what exactly does that success look like? And I think that, like you just saying, even in your first year breaking even, you consider that to be a success. Absolutely, that's a huge win. Because most people are definitely not at even at all in the first year. So that was huge to be celebrated.
Right. And I like too how you talked about not comparing your business to someone else's. That comparison thing is a killer. and it will drive people into the ground because they're constantly working, thinking they need to do what someone else is doing or try to surpass them when that may not be it. And for so many people have just messed themselves up for that very reason. And you said the only person you need to compete with is the person that you were yesterday.
Yes.
As long as you see progression for yourself, there's a saboteur that in a class that I took that we talked about the hyperachiever, where you always want to do things to achieve, to win, to do for people to see you and to, always that's how you feel like you're worthy because you're constantly doing all this stuff. And in the end, it's hurting you. It's not helping.
Yeah.
And so then if you're trying to compete with them over here, then your quality is not going to be what it is because you're focused on, well, what would they do? Let me see if I can figure out what they would do in this situation. Like, no, you have your own business, your own style, your own flair of how you run your own business, and be unique, be different. That's what draws people when they see that you are who you are, you're authentic, and you're not trying to copy what someone else is doing or do it the way someone else is. Oh, that's what draws people to you. So knowing that is really important.
That's the thing. That's my favorite line. People buy into you.
Yeah.
So as long as you're bringing you to the table in whatever you do, there's no such thing as oversaturation. There's no such thing as, and yeah, you want people that vibe with you and who want to work with you and who want to be able to, give you their business.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want it to seem like someone is, settling. That's not what we're here for.
Right.
Yes.
And we have to understand that not everybody is for us. And if you're not, it was great meeting you. I appreciate your time. And I'm just going to go a different direction. Cool.
Right.
Because you may not be my customer, but there could be 10 others waiting in line for me. So I'm not going to cry over the one when there's 10 waiting here. And I'm trying to track you down when the 10 are like, hey, we right here. What us?
Exactly.
So, and Morgan, I like what you said about, they're buying into you. And I remember a time where I wasn't me and I wasn't my authentic self. And I was the way I thought people needed to be. You want my business here, I need to be this way. And so now I go in as me. And that could be silly me. Like, I'm business minded. I'm gonna be a boss in there, but I'm gonna throw a joke in. I'm gonna say something crazy. You're gonna laugh. We're gonna have a good time, and then you're gonna get to see how I am. I'm gonna handle business, but it's not gonna be stressful.
And the gravitation, I was like, and the gravitational pull that you have is even deeper now than it was when you were trying to be someone that you thought they wanted you to be. So now you have a greater reach and you can be able to do more with just being you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I feel a whole lot more free being me.
I feel it.
So, our topic for tonight is success is never ending. Success is never ending. Talk to us about what that means for you personally.
So, I absolutely agree with that. I definitely think success is never ending because, like I mentioned before, I think that you compete with yourself. You try to better yourself from the person you were the day before. So that's to me is you're constantly raising the bar. The bar will never be, I'm hitting the ceiling because oh my God, I was able to achieve this. Let me go ahead and raise the bar a little bit higher. Let me do this. Oh, I think I can do that. And I go with that mentality in my 9-to-5 and also in my business. I look at, how successful I have been in my 9-to-5. I started out as an intern. Like, I literally have been this is the only job, that's the only job I've ever had. You don't find that anymore.
Wow, you don't.
You honestly do not find that anymore. But that is the only job I've ever had. I got that job as a college intern, and I have worked my way up the ladder to being, very successful at what it is that I've done and just moved around. Because when I get tired or I don't feel like I'm being challenged anymore, then I know it's time to go. So if I'm in one department and I'm like, okay, everything now is just repetitive. I'm not being challenged. I don't feel, if my brain is not working, then it's time to go. I've reached where I need to be in this department. I'm gone. And then I keep moving and moving and moving and moving until, I feel as though, I'm where I want to be. Where am I where I want to be now? Yes. Do I want to still, grow my career and strive to be better? Yes, I will never stop. Because at the end of the day, I always think to myself, I have my daughters that are looking at me and always want the next generation to be better than you. I have my nieces and my nephews that, I don't want them to be looking at the actors and the entertainers out there and that to be their role model. I want to be their role model. I want my husband and my siblings to be their role model because they see, well, wait a minute, my parents are successful, so why can't I be successful? If they can do it, then I can do it. I have more
Right.
opportunities than they have, so there's no excuse for me. And I definitely believe that you lead by example. You know, does it mean that my kids are going to be successful because I am? Absolutely not. But am I going to show them the path that they can? Am I going to help them as much as I can? I absolutely will, so that they can determine what their level of success is.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
I think that's also key
I
as a
do too.
parent because a lot of the times, we put a lot of ourselves or our expectations that we have for ourselves onto our kids, or try to put what we want for ourselves or what we even want for them, versus allowing them to just rise to the occasion and the purpose and the level of success that they see for them, and being just the person that's here to support that as they go along. But it's important to be able to give them the tools so that they know what to do with it when it comes their time to start making those decisions and putting certain things in place.
Exactly. And I started that with my daughter from I think one of the things for us as women and also as Black women is to make sure that we're educating our children on financial literacy. So when my daughter will do things around the house and she get paid, or when she first started working, and she would babysit and they'll pay her cash, and I'll tell her, okay, here's your account that you're going to put the money in. This account right here, you're not touching it. That's your savings account. And you have to put an extra 10%. Well, why am I putting an extra 10%? That's Uncle Sam's money. You got to make sure that you pay Uncle. And then every time she would do it, I don't like this Uncle Sam. Can we get rid of it?
None of us
But
do.
but
None
now
of us do.
we know
Yeah, we don't
we
like
don't
Uncle Sam either.
we can't forget about Uncle Sam because ups and
Right.
Exactly.
issues. But it's getting her to understand, and at a young age, whenever she would get her birthday money, it's yes, you have your birthday money, but you need to save some. Get her into the habit of saving money so that she's never, completely broke. At at 15, we opened up a credit card and we gave it to her so that she can learn how to use a credit card and learn how to pay her bills when you use it. Remember, what is a credit card? It's borrowed money, mom. Okay, if you don't have the money, what are you doing? I ain't using that card. So it's teaching her that, because I remember when I went to college, I got credit cards, I charged them up, and then I laid them down thinking, somebody else is gonna pay the bill.
Yep.
Guilty.
Oh, yeah. Somebody else is gonna pay. What is this? Like, you spent all this money. Did you not think about the money you're bringing in to pay these? I'm like, oh no, I didn't think of that.
No, we wanted that to be free money so bad.
Oh yeah. And it was
There was
not.
nothing free about it. Nope.
Exactly. So I'm like, if I teach them now, again, that right there is, I feel as though that's helping to build them up for success in the future, because it's instilling all of these basic um, skills that they need as they grow older. So yeah, they may want to go to the Beyonce concert, but I gotta pay my rent. Yeah, no, Beyonce ain't gonna see me this year. Maybe next year because I gotta pay the rent. And letting them understand, this is your priority. This is what my friends want to go hang out. Do I have gas money? Nope, I don't really have gas money, so I guess I ain't hanging out.
Mhm. Yeah, I just had that same thing happened with my son. My son is in his first year of college in North Carolina, and I was in Colorado last week and week before, and he texted me while I was in my meeting and asked me if I could send him $10 so he could get back to on campus. He had gone to a party. And I'm like, well, if you can't afford to go to a party, then you and get home, then you don't need to go. So he's like, well, Mom, all my friends want me to go. We'll get 10 friends and have them give you $1 and you have your way back home, because Mom's not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not paying for you to go party and come back. Your priorities, you got to understand that you can't do that too. But something else that you said, you were talking about, instilling this in your kids. And one thing that we as parents, and I was guilty of that, and I saw it, is our children have different personalities, and we have to see what they are being drawn to and what they are really into to kind of help push them and navigate them through that area. My oldest daughter is very artistic. Like, she can paint and draw just crazy, and the interior design stuff. But my daughter after her, she's not any of that. So to nurture that one there, and there we sometimes we try to put them all in the same boat. We need to teach them all the same way, and you all need to follow this, and they're different. So I may understand things one way and another person may understand it another way, but you're still going to teach them. I think that's a very important and key, because we don't get that financial literacy information or teaching. I know I did. I had to learn it myself, and it was hard. It was very difficult for me because I didn't have that. So, but with my 9-year-old, I'm doing. She just got some birthday money yesterday, and I'm like, you got a bank in there that your auntie Corey bought you. You better feed that into that thing there. She's looking like, can I? No, you're not going to the store. You don't need another thing. You're good. You need to save that money. So put it in there and leave it. So I heard her pressing the button and let that money suck right on in there. You're good. You don't need anything. I'll give you $1, but that's about it.
Right.
No, you just save this money. So,
Yep, no,
well,
that's definitely true. And
yeah.
that, once we realize the difference in how your kids learn, and then you easily adapt to, okay, you know what, this way, because I know I have, some aunts and uncles, and I look at the way how, they are with their kids versus the way how our parents are with us versus the way how I am with my kids. And there's huge differences, right? Because I think everyone kind of pick up what it is that they like and they don't like, from the generation before, and then they try to adjust off of that. But then when you look at the kids themselves, I have 4 siblings, and we're all different. We're all very, very, very different. And we react to things differently. We think about things differently. And even like when my parents come to us, they come to us for different things. Like my sister, she's more of she's the I'm gonna take care of you. She is the caring one. She's don't ask her anything about finance because she can care less about finance. She says, Nadeska, I'm sending you an email. So when my mom has anything financial, she'll come to me. She's like, Nadeska, can you take a look at this? Or, I'm thinking about doing this with my 401k. Can you look at these? And whatever the case is. But she wouldn't go to my sister. But if, she's having something where she needs some emotional support, or, she just came out of having surgery or whatever the case is, she'll say, Nadeska, can you order me some food? But she'll call my sister and say, can you come over and stay with me?
There you go. Everybody's got their strong points, and that's where they play them. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you so much coming on this evening and talking with us about your business and just all of the extra nuggets that you've given us about entrepreneurship and life itself. We thank you so much. What's next? What is your next event that you're doing?
So right now we've paused on the event because we have already 6 events for next next year. So,
Oh,
so
wow.
we have already started to look for venues. We have a 40th birthday party that's happening next year. Of course, we have my daughter's quinceañera, and that is going to take up a really, really long time. We have another Sweet 16 that we're doing. We have a 35 birthday party that we're doing. And I forgot what the other 2 events are. So we've already started planning events for next year. So
I love it.
Wow.
we have paused on this year because they're all big milestone events. So we want to make sure again that they're getting the attention that they need. So we've already started with the one that's coming first and planning and locking down the venues for those and putting the attention that it needs there.
So have you already turned down some possibilities for 24?
Yes, we've locked 24.
Oh, wow. So if you didn't get in, then you're going to have to
So
wait.
sorry for you.
Locked
And
24.
I'm sorry, bribes are not working and you can't beg and plead. Please don't do
Okay,
that.
look, I
She's
guess I
booked.
might as well put in mine for 2025 right now. Okay, I'll
You might
call
want to do
you
that.
tomorrow with that. Okay.
Like already on the book. Like, I booked this in 2023. What are you talking
Exactly.
about?
Yeah, I don't care what else you do in 2025. I just know you doing my 40th, so we good.
Already done.
Yeah.
Well, we
Right.
hope that our viewers have enjoyed the show on this evening. We definitely have enjoyed having Nadeska on here and sharing about TNT Elegant Creations. Is that right?
And we're
All right, TNT Elegant
yes, we're on
Creations.
Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
All right. Well, there you have it. If you are in the Delaware area anywhere there, I don't know because I've never been to Delaware except driving through. So I can't tell you anything, but I drove through. Then you go on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you need an event planner, coordinator, all of the above, you need to check her out. I'm going on just to look at the pictures and try not to say, oh, because I have a wedding coming up in Florida in March. So we appreciate you coming on. We hope we enjoyed having you. Thank you for everything that you shared with us. And we look forward to seeing what more that you're going to do later on. We're going to be following you. We're going to be following.
Exactly.
So
Look, I can't
if
wait
you
to hear when this finally does turn full time because I
oh
know it's gonna come.
yeah.
I know it's gonna come.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come. Like I told my husband, I'm like, I'm building it the way how I want it to be. Building that sturdy foundation. It's not too much about the quickness of a rapid explosion. Because my oldest daughter, she's in her second year at Penn, and my youngest is getting ready to go into high school. So when she's in college, I will have much more time to devote to it. And maybe I switch it to where, this is my full time and I go part time in my 9 to 5 or just fire my 9 to 5 altogether. It's
Love it.
options are open and, like,
Yeah.
like your topic, success is never ending. So it's just build on what it is that I have at a slow pace, at my pace, until I get to where I want to be at. And then when I get there, build another goal and then start reaching for that.
Yep, never ending. I met this goal. Now let's make another one. Let's get there and just keep going. So you have wonderful options. You can do it however you want to, but it's yours specifically. You're building it at your own pace, the way you want to do it. And that is key. You're not allowing anybody to push you. Oh, I think you need to do this. And I think you need to do that. No, it's the way that you want to do it, that you're comfortable with. So as entrepreneurs, Y'all build your business the way you envision it, the way you want to, the way that's comfortable for you and that's going to work. So you have some good longevity and great success, not how someone else thinks you should do it. It's okay to hear their opinions and they may have a nugget that you can use, but you don't do it like they want you to. You do it the way that you want to, because in the end, it's yours. Your name is on that. So you want it to be well.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we have come to the end of our show for today. Time always goes by so quickly when we're enjoying ourselves and having fun. But we want to be mindful. If you have not subscribed to the House of Peach, you need to do that. So you are made aware of when we go live, when we are having events. We have put a pause on our October 7th event that we were going to have. We are going to reschedule it. We're going to do some revamping and make it even better than what it was going to be. So stay tuned for that. That is definitely coming. And amongst other things that Morgan and I are going to put our beautiful brains together to do for 2024. If you have not been a guest on our show and you are a female entrepreneur, we would love to have you. We would love to interview you. We'd love to hear about all of the amazing things that you're doing. So hit us up. Morgan Harvey in her inbox, me in mine. You can send a message on House of Peach. We get all of that. Email, you name it, we get it. So definitely reach out. We want to get you on. We still have a few slots left for 2023, and then we're shooting straight into 2024.
Yes.
Oh my, I can't believe it. It's been almost a year.
I know. Crazy.
So until next time, which is next Tuesday, we hope you guys have a great ending to your week and a wonderful weekend. And we'll see you next week at the same time, 7:15 Eastern Standard Time, 6:15 Central, because I'm in Central and I have to keep saying that to myself, and 4:15 Pacific, because I like saying that.
Exactly. We don't know who's watching. Yes, right. We doing this.
We're right. We are expanding in large territories. Yes. All right, y'all. So until next week, we will see y'all. Bye.
Thanks.
Glow.